Everybody, welcome back to Hyperspace Deck Command. So, this is the next game dropped by Sleeper Games. Man you may remember from such things as FTL Cap Position, which is where his humble beginnings lie. Then moving on to Hyperspace Dogfights, Tether, Swirl Watch. One thing he kept consistent through all the games is the color scheme. Guy really loves his purples and yellows. We'll be getting more of those purples later, don't you worry. Anyway, Hyperspace Deck Command is a deck builder. Yes, this deck doesn't really only refer to the decks on a ship, but also to, in fact, it's a deck builder, which is once again something rather different from his usual titles. Dogfights was high octane action, Tether was more tactical approach, Sword Watch was more of a stealth puzzle game, and now we have a turn-based deck builder. Speaking of deck builders, this game is comparable to, well, the best way to put it would be Monster Train meets Estrella, and they had a beautiful love baby. We'll see more about that once we get in the game, though. Speaking of this game, it is an early alpha, so things you see are subject to change. Speaking of being subject to change, this game is free, yes, free, to get on itch.io or Steam. So if you're seeing anything here that interests you, you can go play the game for yourself on any of those two platforms. Links will be in the video description as always, and you can help shape this game, telling things you like, dislike, things you want to change. Now's the time to do it, and you can do it for the absolutely low cost of nothing. Anyway, let's get into a game because I've done this twice now and always became way too long of an episode. Well, way too long of a review. Anyway, so Hyperspace Deck Command. This is your starting screen. This is also where you pick what your deck is going to be look like. What your starting deck is going to look like. You pick between, well, not between. You pick a commander, a flagship, an auxiliary, a megaship. Those will decide your starting ships and your starting hands. I'm going to go, as you can see here, there's a ton of things to unlock. And yes, you can pick one of each, which means you have a metric ton of starting options. I'm going to go with what I'm most used with, which is you. Let's go with you for a change. You, and pick you for auxiliary, and you for this. Okay, so this is the choices you make here will define these and these. More on those later. For now, you can fully choose between, as you can tell. But yes, ton of starting options. I'm just going to try to get things moving again. I kind of don't want to have this go over half an hour. It's a review, not a gameplay. Or let's play. Let's play is coming though. So if you want to see things more elaborate. Or my first blind play of this, that's coming. Anyway. Yes, okay, so click go, some stuff happens. First of all, we get this, then stuff happens here, and then we can do things. Alright, so, I've mentioned Monster Train. Why is it similar to Monster Train? First of all, you got different levels just like in Monster Train. This is a unit we can click. Because this has high readiness, it means we can just straight up play this wherever we want. We can pick whatever lane we want. Play it here. Cool. Next. A lot of things are on timers here. I'm just going over timers now because it's being explained right now. Every card we play lowers all timers, this timer, this timer, this timer, this timer by 1. So there's no energy, there's no mana, whatever you want to call it. Every card you play lowers it by 1. At least it has been like that so far. I wouldn't be surprised if there's exceptions. One exception, however, I do know about is again this thing, which has the high readiness, which means it gains this thing, which is basically it does not lower timers. You can basically play for free. Now, back to the orbits. Yeah, there's 3 of them, and that's similar to Monster Train. There's also the 4th one, again similar to Monster Train, which is special. Now, unlike in Monster Train, you can do this. play units wherever you want. Also, units generally can shoot the orbit they're at and one above and below. One exception is your fabricator, which can only shoot the one in front. More on fabricator a bit later. So yeah, I mentioned turn timers. Going back to timers now. Enemies will act, well, enemies and your units will act when their timer hits 0. Enemies go first, top to bottom. Again, exceptions apply, but enemies go first, top to bottom, then your units go. The game is now expecting me to play. I'm going to play a card. You have another units. You can play multiple ships on a single orbit. I think you can have up to 3 per orbit. I'm just going to put you down here. See, timers go again. I mentioned this timer, there's this timer. This is the reinforcement timer. What's the reinforcement timer? Well, basically when reinforcements come in. Not the friendly kind. Let me just hover over this. Hey, come on. I know there's a tooltip here. It won't tell it to me. Basically, if this goes down to 0, more units come in and on this layer, and it pushes everything down by 1. So units from here go to here, units from here go to here, units from here go to here. If they reach here, this timer is always 1, which means they will act every turn, and they will fire on your megaship. If your megaship goes, you can read here, the game's over. It also cannot be targeted by these cards. More on those, well, I guess right now. So that's the monster train similarities. I also mentioned Estrella. A big thing that Estrella had was that a dice could be used on either your side or the enemy side. And that's the same thing here. Let's say pick this thing. This thing deals EMP. If you open it up, it'll tell you what it does. So it debuff EMP, delays unit timer, counts down at the end of every turn. Basically, you fire this at this enemy, he'll get 2, and then another 2. This 2 will have to go down before this one continues going down. So you delay the enemy action. If you delay it on your own units, it'll actually lower that timer. Putting it on this one, it'll go to 0, and it will fire straight away. Makes sense for this one, right? Well, it goes for this one too. This one applies a shield. Basically just like this ship has. Applying shield means, you know, it blocks damage. It can also be played on the enemy. You might think, well, playing your shield on an enemy seems like a bad idea, right? Well, yes, if it would do the same thing. It doesn't. If you use this, you see here, it does debuff containment. Damage dealt by contained units reduces containment stacks. Instead, units cannot deal damage until containment is depleted. Which means if I put this on him, actually I might just do, nah, I'm not gonna do it, I'm gonna do something else. It will put 2 quote-unquote shield on him, and you'll have to do 2 damage before any of his attacks can actually harm any of my ships. You may say, well, what's the difference if he shoots this thing twice or doesn't get to shoot twice at all? Well, one obvious thing is you cannot play these cards on your fabricator. It says here, cannot be repositioned or targeted by regular abilities. So if something gets down here, I can't defend you, but I can prevent the enemy from shooting. There are other creative uses for it, but that's just one of them. Anyway, I'm going to move this thing along. This is a normal shield beacon, nothing too fancy about this one. This one has hyper shield, which is different from normal shield. Shield is, if it has 6 and it gets hits for 4, it'll have 2. Hyper shield, if it has through 6 and it gets hits for 4, it has 5. So it just blocks 1 entire attack per stack. This one doesn't. Anyway, we can here see enemy intents. Basically, this is health, this is damage, this is whatever else it does. If it gets to 1, it will show you what it's shooting at. In this case, it would be my shield beacon. Why? Because it's the closest thing to him. Units will generally fire at the first unit on their orbits. If I were to move you to here, see, he'll suddenly target him. I don't want that. I want to make my shield beacon, so I can hide here. The same thing goes for yours, for your ships. You can't tell them what to shoot. They follow the same rules as the enemies do. If they can't target anything, like this guy, he skips his turn and this gets reset. Now if I were to, like, say, put this here, we'll see, oh hey, look, a thing that I can shoot, and it'll actually shoot. But put him here, nothing on his layer, nothing above or below it, he's got nothing. So let's do something ourselves. We'll just shoot a missile. Again, I kind of want to move things along so this doesn't become too long of a thing. But I do feel like I need to get this exploration out. So I'm going to start playing a little bit quicker. I'm not going to play optimally because I do want to get stuff done. So this, yeah, it tells here that cards work differently on enemies or foes. One more time I need to explain is this one. This one allows me to draw a new hand. This number goes down by 1 also each turn. If it gets to 0, it's a free redraw. If it isn't, then all timers will go down by the amount still here. Yes, even your own timers, but it's still not a good idea because you do want to play one of these cards whenever it's possible. So, one more thing I need to show as well. Or something unique that I found. As I said, enemies go before allies when both are fighting, but if you lower this below 1, like 0 or -1, then they get quick draw or whatever it's called, or quick fire, and it will actually go before the enemy does. So that can be useful too. Anyway, let's speed you up a little bit. Which means you're gonna kill this thing. Now, you're going next turn. He has Scatter. Scatter means targets all units on Europe that are currently in. So, it's actually wise for me to move him up. Because it means he's going to hit this thing, this thing, this thing. Now, hitting this thing isn't great, but nothing a little bit of shield can't solve. And I really do like all the animations that are going. Ah, right, I should have moved them up one more. Okay, that was my mistake. Okay, I'm gonna redraw now. See what we get. I'm actually gonna move you back down. I'm gonna fire this because Retaliate doesn't trigger on tech cards. I see I fired a missile one of these, right? And it says all strikes in hand gain this. This is just extra damage, which is indicated here. This doesn't mean it's doing 4. It basically shows it's a base of 1, but it gets +1. So if I use this one again, this will go up to 4 and say +2. I'm gonna fire another missile at this thing. Now, one last thing that I want to go on is that if something does make it down here, his turn timer will always be 1. I think I mentioned, and they will just keep shooting at each other until, well, they'll shoot at each other every single turn. Anyway, I'm gonna skip until this is over because again, I don't want this to be too long of a video. See you in a bit. Alright, we are back, just about to finish off the boss here. The boss you can recognize by them having this symbol. What's important is if the boss dies, all the other units left on the field will just retreat and you win. In this case, they're only because, you know, they're floating here and being all dead and stuff. So, let's finish this. That gives us the victory. So, once that's done, you are allowed to pick where to go. At first I was just willingly clicking, but you shouldn't because there's a lot of info here. Basically, every icon on there is something you can hover over to tell you what you're going to be getting. This thing here tells you what kind of enemy you'll be facing, and the other 3 are the rewards you'll be getting. In this case, we can get a tech card, a unit card, an upgrade, or SRM. SRM, as it's always been, is the currency in this game to buy stuff. As far as I know, there is no meta, so everything you get you should spend in stores. Stores will have a plethora of things. We don't have one now. You usually get one after the second or third one. Anyway, let's go this way. This is an upgrade. I can at least show you what the upgrades are. Right. So the upgrades work similar to how they work in Monster Train again, which is namely you buy the upgrade and then you choose what to apply the upgrade to. So we'll start with that. Give you something flashy, and there you get this thing. Okay, open power routing, 1 ultra watt or something, I don't know. Plus 1 effects when applied to this unit. So this is going to be a one for your units, and it basically means that if you apply EMP to it, it'll get 1 extra stack. The way you use it is you open your deck, like probably to, there we go. And you do this, you click and drag, and then you can see what cards you can play on. So some are for units, some are for tech cards, some work on both, and they can do a variety of things. Like I've had upgrades that added high readiness to units or stuff like that. I've never had anything that I could actually play on a megaship. I don't think there is anything you could play on there, but let's play this on units. I probably should have checked the other ships first, but this is fine. Okay, so here we get to pick a new unit. Important to note, let's go with you. This one has multi-strike, and you know this thing that usually just adds damage. This one, rather than turning damage, well, rather than making enemies do less damage, just makes them take more damage. If they have 2 of this and you fire them with a shot 1, they'll take 3. So sure, we'll take this. Also has the multi-strike, which does that twice, which is kind of cool. Then we get to pick a tech card here. I really like this one. I'm going to take it again, I feel. Alright, cool. Once that's done, you click go, and I may as well click it, right? So again, you get all of your high readiness cards. I still only have the 1, but if you have more than both of them, will show up here. So yeah, then just stuff starts over. That's all the stuff that I want to tell you about in game, except for stores. We haven't seen the store yet, but at this point you'll be probably seeing some footage of a store. It allows you to buy a whole variety of things. That could be upgrades, could be tech cards. I'm not sure if I've seen any units in there, but they wouldn't surprise me if they were. Card removal. There are also something equivalent to relics and stuff, so stuff that gives you passive. They are quite rare, but they are also generally quite powerful. Just thought it might be useful to mention that those do exist, because they are a rare sight. Besides that, there isn't too much left I want to talk about. Maybe some minor things that I may have missed. The visuals, they may not be for everyone. One thing I did was turn the active camera off, which basically zoomed into where the action was. That was just a little bit too much movement for my taste. So I turned that off and everything's fine. You can zoom in and out if you want. I do really like the animations. I love seeing all the missiles fly around, and you'll have enemies that fire tiny little ships at your ships that are hovering your ships. Okay, you will shoot as well, and you have flares going off everywhere. It's all really visually flashy and stuff at times, which is really cool, but also might occasionally take away from what's really important. The good thing is, everything that's important should always be seen around your units or the enemy units. Then of course there's this and that, but you know that stuff, right? So if it's important, it should be on a unit, be it friend or foe. The music is quite a bop. I also really like the fact that as you're, well, probably won't be able to show it, but if you don't do anything for a while, the music goes down, and then the moment you do something, like play a card or move a ship, it kicks up again. I'm not sure if that's just quiets down for you to think more clearly or something, I don't know. But it's kind of a neat thing. All that remains now is the stuff that I've basically said at the beginning. If you've made it this far into this video, it means there's at least something that interests you. Go play it. The game is free. It's still in alpha, so feedback is still very much appreciated by the developer. Get the game on itch.io, get it on Steam. If it is something you're interested in, wishlist it, give your feedback. Do it through the in-game menu that you can see by pressing escape. Use the comment section below this video if you want to. I'll be sure to pass things along. Heck, there's even a good chance the dev might be watching. Go check or go join the Discord even. It's a really fun place, really good community. I don't spend nearly enough time there as I would want, but people are really friendly there, and even the dev is really active on Discord. But yeah, go play it, leave your feedback where the dev can get to it, help shape this game, let me know what you think of it. That's where I'm going to cut things. This has been Hyperspace Deck Command. I'm not good at reviews, so I'm not sure if I'm going to call this a review or not, but I do want to get the word out. So thanks for watching, and look forward to the Let's Play of this game. Bye.